Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people. Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Marion Barnett Jr., your hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr., who is out of town this weekend. We want to make sure we pray for his safe return home. A lot of things to talk about this morning. It is July 5th, the day after July 4th. I hope you guys had a safe and wonderful July 4th, celebrating with your family. Got the opportunity to do a lot of things this weekend. There are a lot of things that we need to talk about this weekend. But first, I want to say a special happy birthday to my son, Marion Barnett III, who's probably asleep or not listening. Yeah, he turned 6 years old, so third ward, a tray is what they call him. So happy birthday, son. Birthday is July 3rd. Also, I want to send a shout out to the Bonner family who lost a great man, Deacon John Bonner, who's processionist today at 11 o'clock. Again, Deacon John Bonner, I want to say a special prayer on their family, the Bonner family. And I'll give him a shout out at the end of the show as well. Again, a lot of things to talk about this morning. What we're going to do is have an open forum this morning. So get your fingers ready to call in, because today is an open show. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about this morning. We have the debate of the immigration, the national immigration that happened last Tuesday, where they flew in a bunch of kids from Texas. Well, they wasn't from Texas, but they're from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and they were all here illegally in Texas, and shipped them to California, Marietta, California, and they were not welcomed in California. There were a lot of protesters there, blocking those kids from coming in. And what we want to do is talk about this morning. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Now, apparently Senator Royce West has came out and stated that these are kids and they can come to Dallas or house these kids. So what we want to do is make sure you guys call in and talk about that. So let's get you that number at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's light up these phone lines. Today is a good day to actually you can have about 2 minutes to talk. So typically it's about 30 seconds to a minute, but today we're going to have 2 minutes. We're going to start the show off early. So go ahead and start calling in. Also, we'll talk about John Wiley Price this morning. I know he was supposed to meet with the feds this past week. They wanted to talk to him. It sounds like they wanted to cut a deal with him. Call in. Tell me what you think about it. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? And it's what always the popular home rule Dallas ISD. Mayor Tom Leppard, he wants to push for DISD to become a charter district, a charter school district. And over the past few months, I've been hearing a lot of different opinions on that. A lot of different opinions. Some people for it. There was a protest held back in April for the protesters who are against it. Call in and tell me what you think about it. Apparently, they reached their limit on getting those signatures, and they want to move forward with turning Dallas a charter district. But again, let's talk to you, the people of Dallas. What do you think about it? If you signed that petition, why did you sign it? Also, there was another signature ballot coming around for people who signed it not knowing why they signed it or didn't intentionally sign it. So call in. Tell us if you signed it, did not know, you were bamboozled, you were tricked, or felt like, hey, this is something that you felt is necessary for DISD. You know, again, I've always said, you follow the money, you find what the actual cause is. So I can't actually believe that they just want to turn the DISD charter just because it's going to help the kids. Because with all the money put to the side before, they've never done anything but try to build buildings, which doesn't teach the kids. But also, the Affordable Care Act is 7 months in. If you took one of those plans from Obamacare, call in. Let's see how's that going for you. So again, we got a lot of things to talk about this morning. You got immigration, we got home rule, we got John Wiley Price. Again, if you are part of the Obamacare Affordable Care Act and you have one of those plans, call in and tell us about it. 7 months in, it's one of those deals that a lot of people with money that don't need it are upset with. But the people that need it, I would like to hear from you. How has this helped you? How has this affected you? How has it not helped you? It's very important that we talk about it. All right? This is Church Information Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr., who's out. So what we're going to do is having an open forum this morning. Just a clear open forum. This show is all about you. You, the customer. You, the Dallas citizens who have a free line, a free opportunity to express yourself, to call in. There is no judgment held upon those who call in. It's only you expressing how you feel, offering your views. Also offering if you have a solution to any of the issues that are coming about. I feel like we need to sit down and actually meet face to face and dialogue and build up a stronger coalition in Dallas. Don't let this be the only 2 hours that your voice is heard. There are a lot of shows out there that will allow you to call in, but they only post your opinion if your opinion falls in line with what they want you to say. So again, if you disagree with what they're saying, they won't even play what you're saying. But not on this show, not on Church Information Open Forum, not on KNON. This is the voice of the people. So again, in Dallas, this is your opportunity to call in, express exactly how you feel. Again, we're talking about immigration. We can talk about the home rule. We can talk about John Wiley Price. We can talk about the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare. Or if you got your own personal topic, feel free to call in and express exactly how you feel. That number again is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. And so we do have one caller calling in. So let's go ahead and go to the phone line and let's say good morning to Tony. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing just fine.
All right. My comment is, I guess I can tag it to a home rule issue, but it's about education and true history. I bet you if you ask the home rule people if they willing to change the curriculum of DISD to reflect true history in America, they will have a protest about it because we just celebrated the 4th of July.
Right.
America's Independence Day. Very few people know that a black man got killed for a day. Because it's the status. Right. You know, very few people know that blacks served with Washington when he was fighting the American Revolution. Very few people know that blacks fought for the British. And that's not how not books. Mm-hmm. Very few people know that Lewis and Clark was aided by Native Americans. If it weren't for her, they'd be dead. And my thing is, these same people, if you go to them and say, okay, are you willing to change curriculum to reflect the true history of America? Because when you talk about curriculum, you're talking about changing their view or their position in the history book. And I guarantee you, they have an uproar. A lot of these reforms from the 80s is from the fact of Reagan had a commission on education. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they want to do is curriculum, not necessarily the teaching perspective of it, but curriculum. And so the conservatives got mad when you started saying slavery and you started saying, you know, slave owners like Jefferson, basically slave owners. Then it's like, oh, you're touching the dignity of, of America. So a lot of these things they don't want to put in the books. They don't want to put the Chinese helped build the railroad. They don't want to put that, the labor unions, some of the people that created the labor unions were being shot at by people, by business owners, And so it's funny that people always talk about education, but when you start asking, okay, what are you going to put in the curriculum that reflects everybody's history in America, then we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to add that perspective to today's topic.
Okay, good. That's a very good topic. Very good topic. There's not enough African American history taught in our DIC classrooms, if any, is being taught at all. And the only ones that is being talked about is during February, where they're talking about during not even slavery times, but just civil rights movement, and they only highlighting the same people.
Well, let me give you one perspective even on that. Republicans are always talking about self-reliance, self-independence, self-determination. But guess what? The Black Panthers were for that. Marcus Garvey for that. Malcolm X for that. Mm-hmm. They never mentioned these people in that thing. Okay, you need to be self-sufficient. The word they use is self-sufficient. Self-made. Mm-hmm. But there are people in our community that actually advocated that. But the problem is, they choose the ones who are tolerable to them to advocate, you need to be able to be independent, take care of yourself, feed your family, and all that. But there are a lot of people in our past who actually supported self-reliance, self-determination. And guess what? They would never put Malcolm X in that perspective. They'll never put the Black Panthers in that perspective. They'll never put Marcus Garvey in that perspective. But they'll use that negative. There are negative faults. Say, hey, they cannot be put in the book. What they will do is they will romanticize and sanitize Martin Luther King to make it more palatable for whites to consume.
I don't think it's by accident. I think it's by design. It's they want you to be more self-sufficient, but everybody but you. Is the actual term for it. Everybody but you. It's by design. I don't think that they actually want everybody to be self-sufficient because, like I said, Marcus Garvey, some of the other leaders in our time have been very big on being independent and building our race up. But, again, all those were either killed or ridiculed, or they painted the picture of what they want you to think you are, and they're doing that through propaganda in our media. And so the only thing that our kids are growing up seeing is you got to be some kind of entertainer, whether it be in sports, whether it be through music, but you got to be an entertainer. You can't be a thinker. You got to be an entertainer. You got to, even if you're in music, you got to talk about certain things. You have to rap about certain things. You have to sing about certain things. They don't highlight those who are singing for us and through us. We have our gospel connection, but anyone that's talking positive about our race or doing anything of that nature, they're not going to highlight that. So our children don't get to see that. But it's not by accident. It's by design. But,
all right, thank you.
Tony, thank you for your call and comment. All right, let's go back to our phone lines. We're talking about a couple of different things. Tony added a topic. The initial one we were talking about is immigration. Again, a lot to talk about with immigration. I want to see what you guys say. Let's go to our phone lines. Let's say good morning to Lynn on line 3. Good morning, Lynn. How are you? Lynn? No, Lynn? Lynn is gone? Okay. Again, let's go back to that phone line. Let's say good morning to Larry of line 4. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Good.
Let me turn this radio down.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about the foreign people.
The foreign?
The one that's coming over here.
The immigration. Right.
The immigration people. Mm-hmm. The Bible says in the last days to be terrorists. Now, we don't know who these people are. But see, back in the days, we used to form together like John Wiley Price and them and like Martin Luther King and all the rest of them walk. You don't see people marching like they used to. If you want things done, you got to join together. You can't be separated. You can't be just sitting down talking about it. You can't be a bench warmer. And that's what we have in nowadays. We're not having people stepping out like we used to do. And it's time for us to step out. Because terrorists could be anywhere. We don't know nothing about these people. Sickness, famine in the land, they say in the last days. All this here is coming up right now because of this. You know, now why they didn't send them to North Dallas or over there where all the rich folks are? Why are they sending them over here on our side or where all the poverty and stuff at? You know, where we need money and stuff like this. Now, I went to school with Ross West. You know, he came out a little bit before me and Wilma Hutchins, but I don't stand with this at all. You know, because I don't feel like if that's the case, why they don't let us just come over and just go in their countries the way that we can do is just step out and try to do all this. See, you know, things are not right. But see, it's up to us. You know, it's up to us to stand up. And speaking out for just the people, you know, we all got to band together, you know, because our children's got to live on, you know. And you know, how do we know these ain't diseases and stuff that they bring over here to our people and our children? You know, we just don't take in everybody. You know, you don't let in everybody in your house, do you?
Well, I mean, California and the city of Marietta, they stood up and blocked their streets so they couldn't get in. So, like,
and the same thing needs to happen here. You know, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being real because, hey, we suffered enough, you know, and just like, you know, we got too many people. I'm just speaking out, you know, because, see, this is wrong.
Right.
This is wrong, you know. You know, our kids got to live. Like I say, we got to live. We don't know what's going on with this. The other thing by John Wiley Price, he's my cousin, too.
Okay.
All right, now, they always thinking about him, but he's the only one I see standing up. Get behind him, too. Show these people that we're bagging our people, you know, because the simple reason you don't see him messing with other people, it's more to him in this. I guarantee you. If you go down the line, I guarantee you it'll be Bill Knox, Judge Jenkins, and they always say you can speak your piece, so speak my piece. It's more to him in this. He didn't get to that by himself. You can believe that. In the name of Jesus. Okay. Like I say, God don't play about these things, and it's time for us to stand up. You know, God said he uses a cheerful giving. Let's give ourselves to our people for our children.
Yeah. So, Larry, are you saying John Wiley Price did something wrong?
I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just saying why they messing with him and not messing with anybody else. I don't feel he did anything wrong.
Oh, okay.
If he did something wrong, it would have been got a long time ago. They just messing with him for one thing, I feel like. You know, that's just like when the guy just spoke a while ago about Malcolm X. Okay, Malcolm X was his type of leader. Martin Luther King was his type of leader. Nevertheless, they all stood together, they all marched. This is where the problem is. We're not marching anymore.
Right.
People see us just standing back, taking things the way that we take it. Right. You know, we got to stop being lazy people. You know.
Right. Well, all right. Well, Larry, we thank you for your call and comment. We got to go to break. All right. Again, give us a call, 972-647-1893. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. filling in for Marion Barnett Senior this morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'll be right back. All right. Again, this is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. filling in this morning for Marion Barnett Senior. And again, this morning we're talking about the immigration laws, our immigration. There's about 2,000 kids that's going to be shipped to the North Texas area here soon in July. The city of Dallas has potentially stated that these kids can be housed here. They were sent to Marietta, California, and was welcomed by, of course, about 200 people who blocked the streets and said they can't come here, according to this report on KERA. Again, they blocked the street, said they couldn't come here. Senator Royce West stated that he went and saw him, and he wants to bring the kids to the North Texas area, the Dallas area, and they've identified 3 sites in Dallas where these kids can be housed. One of them is Hudson Middle School off Polk. The other is Lamar Alternative Education off Walnut Hill, and they have one other site in Grand Prairie. So, is that Parkland?
Lamar Schools in Grand Prairie, and then Parkland, right here.
Oh, Parkland, okay. Parkland, what is this? Parkland on Butler Street, okay. Parkland on Butler Street, Lamar Alternative in Walnut Hill in Grand Prairie, and Hudson Middle School on Polk. These are the 3 sites that they'll be using to house about 2,000 people. Now, from my understanding, the majority of these are kids. These are kids, infants, babies. Maybe some are housed with their families, so some of them do have parents. But again, they come from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, who are all living here illegally in Texas. And they were rounded up, shipped to Marietta, California to live. But again, they were not welcome with a welcome sign. They were welcomed with more so a crowd of protesters who disagreed with their kids living there. So Dallas intervened. Senator Royce West said, hey, they can come here. So call in and tell me what you feel about this. You are the citizens of Dallas. Call in. Let's see what you think about it. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Also, we're talking about John Wiley Price this morning. Give us a call. He met with the feds last week. Wanted to strike a deal with them. Let's call in and talk about that as well. And, of course, the always popular home rule. Home rule. Again, DISD is Mayor Tom Lepper wants to turn DISD into a charter school. Let's get some calls about that as well. And let's go to our phone lines this morning. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to KC Thomas. Good morning, KC. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Barnett. How you doing?
I can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was calling this morning for a couple of reasons. You know, you mentioned about what's going on with those children, right. Who are migrant children, who were unaccompanied by parents. You know, all of these things, border security, immigration for all of this, you know, will be determined by election outcomes. You know, how many people go out and vote, and that'll determine the shift in terms of it's going to be more of a focus on border security or more of a focus on immigration reform. And I bring that up because on this Monday at 6 o'clock over at the African American Museum, we're going to have our community conversation, and our topic is going to be on how to get out the vote. We're going to have this time. It's going to be more of a workshop. We're going to have individuals who are going to present on traditional grassroots strategies to get out the vote, and then also we're going to have a session called "How to Mobilize the Millennial." Mm-hmm. We're going to have 2 young sisters who have been active and are activists locally, who are going to show some strategies and techniques that work more in terms of getting that generation out. So we want to. I know Pastor Barnett has a broad audience. He has young adults who listen, and he has his seniors who also listen, and people in between. Right. So we want to get the word out, tell them to come out, bring your notepads and pencils. We got to go back to the basics, the things that we did traditionally that allowed things like the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act to pass. We need to go back and we need to apply some of those same things. I call it going back to the future. Apply some of those strategies that work so well. You know, how is it that when we had less opportunity, when we didn't have the right to vote, when we didn't have equal rights, we were able to apply as much pressure in a just way to get people who didn't think the way we think, as Dr. King would say, to bend the order for a just. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I want to invite your listener audience to come on out this Monday night. We're going to start right at 6 o'clock, and we're going to talk about what we can do to make sure this November we have a great voter turnout. We know back in the primary, the turnout was very low, very dismal. But we don't want that to happen in November, because if it does, individuals who don't have our best interest at heart will be making laws that won't have our best interest at heart.
Right. And where is this at again? Monday at 6?
The African American Museum over there in the Fair Park, Monday at 6 p.m.
Fair Park, African American Museum, Monday at 6.
How to get out to vote.
How to get out to vote. All right. And do you have any tips on who's running for some of those seats in November?
Well, November's a general election, so you're going to have, our current DA is going to be on the ballot. He's running for re-election. Our current county judge, Clay Jenkins, is going to be on the ballot, as well as any contested primaries for judge or justice of the peace, county clerk, any of our county officers, as well as at the top of the ticket, of course, governor's race and lieutenant governor's race, attorney general, and all of those statewide offices. So we have a real opportunity this time, if we can get out the vote. The numbers that were quoted at the Texas Democratic Convention, 450,000 here in Dallas County. If we can get 450,000 people in Dallas County to come out and vote your interest, then we can have an impact on what's going to happen down there in Austin and statewide.
Okay. All right, well, Casey, we thank you for your call and coming. I definitely continue to send that information out.
Appreciate it. I was just
Again, this morning we are talking about different things. It's an open forum today. Open forum today. Open line, so get your fingers ready to go ahead and start calling in. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. One of the hot topics is the immigration laws that there are 2,000 kids illegally from Texas who were shipped to California, Marietta to be exact. And they were not welcome with welcome signs, but they were welcome with protesters saying that the kids can't come here. In the meantime, Dallas Senator Royce West stated that the kids can be shipped to the North Texas area, and they've identified 3 schools, 3 sites for these kids. Hulsey Middle School, Lamar Alternative Education on Walnut Hill, as well as in Grand Prairie, and Parkland Hospital Boulevard, right here off Butler Street. According to KERA News Stories. So, again, call and tell us how you feel. We know that the United States was built by immigrants. Well, actually by slaves. They were built by slaves. Didn't come here freely, but they call this a nation of immigrants. So, call in. Let's tell us what you think. We see Marietta welcome with protests. Should Dallas do the same thing? Or is it just because of who it is protesting is what makes it okay? And if we protest, it may cause an uproar. But let's go to our phone lines. Let's go to line 2, and let's say good morning to Matati.
Yes, hello, Mr. Barnett Jr.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Did I say your name right?
That is correct.
Okay, good. Go ahead and what you calling comment this morning.
Yes, I have 3 quick points, and I'll let you go because this topic could take a whole year. First point, I find it very interesting, and I think we as voters and citizens were forgetting the position that the Governor Perry took earlier when we had all our disasters. He is the chief executive of the state of Texas as governor. But there was a point at time where Washington, D.C. wanted to give federal aid to the state of Texas, and he stood up and said, we're not taking money from Washington. So I find it very peculiar that now he would sit here and bring up charges against the president in Washington that they're not taking care of the border when that is his job as the governor of Texas. Number 2. I also find it very interesting that when we look at immigration laws and we're looking at the citizens that are trying to come here seeking a refugee state, we also have to look at their politics, and deep down inside there is always somehow a tie to the U.S. government that creates these situations to where these people have to leave their countries and seek shelter. Whether it's through war or the drug war, or however you want to look at it. I just kind of find it very interesting that at the bottom, if we clear all the smoke, we will find that our government is involved with some type of corruption in their country.
Right.
Number three, third point I have is that we as African Americans, taking myself, I'm originally from Zaire or the Congo. I read a very interesting article this year that my country in natural resources has over $120 trillion worth of resources that China and the U.S. government, mainly the CIA with the uranium, is leaching and stealing out of my country. Now, why is it as consumers or as citizens of this country we have not become allies, especially with our own homeland, which is Africa, as well as foreign entities such as Brazil, South America? So I ask myself is that if we, as citizens of Dallas or the state of Texas, as African Americans, if some major disaster happened to where we needed to reach out to a foreign state, you know, to help us economically to survive whatever that disaster is, where would we go and what would we do? When are we going to wake up and understand that, yes, we as human citizens were one body in Christ, but at the same time there are realities of man, which says that each group of people has to stick together. And I say this, and then I'll close. I was watching a documentary, and it was stated that there were African-American business people that had offered people in the Asian community that owned hair shops the opportunity to buy products at a 30% discount. And the Asian people said, do you not understand that it's not about the money, it's about our culture and our people sticking together. So regardless of how much more we have to pay, we're going to recycle our dollars in our community. When, as a people, are we going to wake up and start supporting our bookstores, which I think there's maybe one, maybe two at the most in the DFW? But when are we going to start waking up and realizing that, you know, it's not a game, this stuff is real, they're still killing us, you know, they don't just have to do it the way, you know, hang you from a tree, but there is economical lynching, there is the welfare lynching. So we really need to get this thing together. I'm a preacher's son. I support it, but the church is wrong in a lot of places. A lot of religions are wrong in a lot of places, but let's start teaching the truth, re-educating our children, teaching our young daughters how to dress appropriately, whether mama does or not, teaching our sons to pull up their pants, wear a belt, and teach them to be thinkers and that they don't have to run a football down the field. You know, or if you want to be involved with that, become the CEO, become a team manager. You don't just have to be the guy on the field. I thank you very much, Mr. Barnett Jr., and have a blessed day.
Matadi, hold the line for 1 second. I want to get your information.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on line. All right, again, this Monday at 6 o'clock, we are having a discussion over the election at the African American Arts Center at the Fair Park. KC called in and told us about it, so we thank you for that, KC. So if you have something that you want to talk about this Monday at 6 p.m., you have the opportunity to do that. Matati raised a lot of good points. Governor Rick Perry, he did deny the money that our president was going to send to Texas to assist with immigration. So why is it that we are now, when I say we, I'm talking about Texas, that we are now discrediting President Obama for not doing anything about it? Again, 2,000 kids that were shipped to California, Marietta, California, to live, but they were welcomed with, of course, a protest. So now they're shipping these kids back to the North Texas area. Senator Russ West said they can come to Dallas. So, and we'll house them. So give us a call this morning. We got a couple people on hold. We got to get ready to take a break, so I'm going to come to you as soon as we get back from our break. But for those of you who have something to say, again, this is the voice of the people, so get your fingers ready. Go ahead and start calling in now. That number is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. If you're on hold, just hold 1 second. We're coming right back to you. This is Church Information in Open Forum. All right, good morning. We're back. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. this morning, who's on vacation. Again, this morning we were talking about a couple of different things, but the hot topic is, of course, immigration. Those 2,000 kids that were shipped from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras to California, Marietta, California, and were welcomed with a protest. And those kids are now on their way to the North Texas area, in particular, the Dallas area, who have identified 3 potential sites for these kids: Hussey Middle School, a more alternative education off Walnut Hill and in Grand Prairie, and Parkland Hospital Boulevard, right here off Butler Street. Again, go ahead and call in and tell us how you feel about it this morning. 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. And let's, as promised, let's go back to our phone lines and say good morning to Lynn this morning on line 3. Good morning, Lynn. How are you?
Good morning.
How are you?
Immigration. I personally think they should send them back. I heard on the news where they said some of the family members were spending $7,000 to get them here. Use that resource to fix their situation. We have gangs here. We have homeless children here that we're not fixing. So why do we need to take on a whole other group of people? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, when you say send them back, you said send them back to California, send them back to Honduras?
Send them back to where they be started from.
Okay.
That's where they need to be sent back to. That is not fair. We got sick people here, can't even get disability because of one reason or another. And then they want to constantly bring people here to the United States. John Riley Price, my man down there. I'm going to continue to vote as long as he's there. They're just trying to find something because he's been there so long and they can't seem to get rid of it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want him to. I like him where he is, so leave him alone. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Lynn, thank you for your call and comment this morning. Thank you for your call and comment. Again, we're talking about a couple of different things. Whatever topic you would like to discuss, you feel free to call in and talk about that as well. So that number is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. And let's go to our phone lines and say good morning to Thomas on line 4. Good morning, Thomas. How are you? Thomas? We lost Thomas. Okay, Thomas, give us a call back. All right. And let's go to Barbara on line 1. Good morning, Barbara. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Barnett.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Go ahead with your call and comment.
I want to talk about 2 issues.
Okay.
Number 1, immigration, and number 2, homeschool rules.
Okay.
Now, we in the United States, we can't even take care of our own kids. How in the world do we think we're going to take care of somebody else's kids from 10 to 12 countries at a time, flooding in every year by the hundreds and by the thousands? Right. We got border people over here from Mexico coming in every day. We have people coming in this country 15,000 at a time every day. So we're going to be the ones that's pushed out, and they're going to be the ones that's coming in. So where does that leave us? Also, I think Senator West is looking at his political future as far as foreigners are concerned in this country. He knows there's a lot of foreigners, and he's trying to bank on them voting for him when his election term comes up.
Okay, so you think this is a
political move? And that's my feeling. Number 2, homeschool rule. All you have to do is look at who's pushing and who's behind this homeschool rule. Who's getting out there trying to get the petition signed? Look at the people who's doing it. DISD is 90% foreigners. I guess I could say. Now, what group of foreigners? I don't know. But when I go through DISD, I barely see any black kids. And that's all I have to say right now.
All right, well, Barbara, thank you for your call and comment. You say it was a political move from Senator Royce West, trying to earn the votes. That's why he wanted the kids to come here. Well, that's a different perspective, a different way to look at it. Okay. Well, let's go to our phone lines and say good morning to Esquire on line 2. Good morning, Esquire. How are you?
Good morning. You sound so much like your dad. I had to wake up.
Oh,
Listen, it's all politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's not just Royce West. Texas has an agenda. And I don't blame what they're doing, because look what they're trying to do to you and me and everybody else. Don't want you to vote. Done took all types of blocks. These people in Texas, they will drown you. They'll bury you if you don't stop them. And I guess this might be the best way. I don't say it's the best way, but it's all about politics. And the only thing I'm worried about is the adults that come in. I don't know how many they are, but then are they going to have power to vote?
Well, right now these are kids, and I don't think they would have the right to vote because they're here illegally. They wouldn't have the right to vote. But let me ask you a question. Since you say it's Texas, why not West Texas? Why Dallas? Why do you think it was Dallas?
I think they're working on it. I don't know. Laws can be changed now.
Right. As big as Texas is, and big as California is, they didn't choose Los Angeles, California. They chose Marietta, a smaller town. Now, when Texas, they chose a bigger city, and in Dallas to be exact. It's because of the people. They knew they wouldn't get much fight here from the people than other places. I mean, you kind of got to think about that. Why Dallas opposed to Houston, San Antonio, Lubbock? They're closer to Lubbock right now in California. But why Dallas? I know Senator Royce West came and said they didn't come here, but why in no other areas of Texas? Why Dallas?
Well, I'm just looking at Texas now. We're close to the border. Majority of Texas is. And we talked about, I think, the last election, we only missed being so many votes that are turning the right color.
Right.
That's what I think is all about. I don't have no answers, but I believe that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it may work and it may not.
Okay.
But everybody's not going to be happy.
Right.
I live in the Wilma Hutchins School District, and I'll say something about this new deal they're trying to deal with. We went through all kind of problems, and we really didn't have that many problems. But when they want to do something, they know how to do it if you let them. So we let them slide in here with Captain Neely and get this district closed down, and where we're at today, we're back in Dallas. I don't have any children. I don't have any grandchildren, but I know that education is important. I don't understand how. Maybe somebody can explain to me how this other situation is going to work with this many kids.
All right.
That's all I have to say, and thank you for a good morning.
All right. Well, thank you for your call and comment. All right, let's, again, we're talking about immigration this morning. We're talking about homeschool rule. We're talking about anything you want to talk about. We're talking about John Wiley Price. Whatever you want to talk about this morning, this is open forum this morning. So call in at 972-647-1893. Of course, the hot topic is these 2,000 kids from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, that were shipped to Marietta, California to live, and were welcomed with protesters who did not want them there. So, in return, these kids will be shipped to the North Texas, Dallas area, per Senator Royce West, to live. Now, will they be welcomed here? I'm not sure. Out of all the places in Texas, my question is, why Dallas? Why Dallas, opposed to not to the Lubbock area, not to the West Texas area, not Houston, San Antonio, closer to the border, but in particular Dallas? What makes Dallas the hot spot for 2,000 immigrants, illegal immigrants? Is it because they know Dallas was not going to take part in doing anything about it? Could that be the reason? They won't get much fuss opposed outside of they don't like it, but nothing's going to be done. We'll call in with your comment, 972-647-1893, and let's go back to our phone line and say good morning to Thomas. Good morning, Thomas. How are you? 9-3, Thomas. Yeah. Good morning, Thomas. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good.
I was just calling to state my opinion about the protests for, I'm guessing, the immigrants that were denied, entrance. And I think a lot of people forget that, everybody's an immigrant here in the U.S., and the only native people to this land were the Native Americans and the Mexican tribes that were dealing amongst each other before the whole Christopher Columbus thing. And so I think that, it's very easy to forget that we're all immigrants here in this land, and we're all trying to do our best with what we got. We're kind of selfish as far as this being our homeland now, right? Everybody claims this is America. This is home of the brave, home of the free. Mm-hmm. But it's so easy to overlook that, very, very distant history.
So, are you for the kids coming here? You're okay.
I'm not just for the kids for coming here. I'm personally believe, there shouldn't be borders in the world. There's so many borders, You got the American border, you got the Southern American borders, you've got all these other countries that have borders among themselves, and there's just one big chunk of land on this earth, and the only thing that separates it are borders, which is stupid to me. I mean, it should be, open door policy, if you could say that, I don't think the world should have borders. I mean, we're all citizens of this world, We're all humans. Correct. It's not, it's not a black race. It's not a Mexican race. I think it's all a human race. We're all one race. We just have different cultures.
Correct. They have different cultures, but you got to have some kind of boundaries. Otherwise, you'll have chaos everywhere. I
understand that.
So, okay. All right, well, Thomas, we thank you for your call and comment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this morning we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. The hot topic, of course, is the immigration rule. Call in and tell me how you feel about it. Are you for it or against it? Are you for those 2,000 kids and some adults coming to the North Texas area from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala? Senator Ross West stated that Dallas to house these people, these illegal immigrants. So, in particular, Hulsey Middle School on Polk Street, Lamar Alternative Education in Grand Prairie, Parkland Hospital right here in Dallas off Butler Street have been potentially identified as sites for these kids. Again, these are kids we're talking about for the most part. They are accompanied with some adults, but for the majority they are kids, toddlers, babies. But again, Dallas has bigger issues opposed to just these kids and these people coming here. We have kids that are not being fed now, that are not being taken care of now. But let me hear from you, the audience. Let me hear from you. What do you think of it? And let's go back to our phone lines. Go to line 4. And let's say good morning to Joshua. Good morning, Joshua. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right. Thank you.
Good.
Hey, I think when we try to decide what to do about the children who are coming or immigrants who are coming, we should remind ourselves of a bit of American history. Mm-hmm. Now, in the 1800s, the northern states passed laws they called black laws. Mm-hmm. Right? And these were laws that were meant to keep people who were trying to flee slavery out. Right? So the states that are so-called free states were passing laws to keep people trying to escape slavery out of their states. They also had something called the Fugitive Slave Act, right? Where if a person was able to escape from bad conditions in the South, they were deported from the North back to where they were supposed to be. Now, what I think we should keep in mind is, as wrong as that was, that form of discrimination, it's also wrong for us to discriminate against people on the basis of something as flimsy and imaginary as citizenship, right? Which is solely a matter of where a person happens to be born. So I think it's important for us to welcome people, right, as many people in the North did, but there were those who opposed the entry of people who had been enslaved. So I think we should keep that in mind when trying to determine, I hear people say, send them back. Well, that was the same thing being said by a lot of folks in the North during the time of slavery. Right? So I hope you all have a good morning. Thank you for your forum. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Joshua, for your call and comment. Again, we're talking about immigration. We're talking about home rule. We're talking about whatever you would like to talk about this morning. The hot topic, of course, is the immigration. A lot of people feel different types of ways when it comes to 2,000 illegal immigrants coming to the North Texas area who were originally going to Marietta, California, but were greeted with protesters who did not want them there. But my question this morning, and is just derived, why the Dallas area in particular? Why do you think Dallas was chosen? I know Senator Royce West came out and said Dallas would take them, but why not? Why no other areas? Why no area stepped up to say, hey, we'll take them? Okay, so give me a call this morning, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Let's go back to our phone line. Let's go to line 1 this morning to Reverend Wright. Reverend Wright, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good, nephew. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I can't complain.
And tell Marion the third that I've got about 50 years on the day of my birthday as well.
Okay, all right. You in good company.
Listen, just to address what your last caller was saying about the black laws, but he failed to realize that African Americans were brought over here. We didn't sneak over here,
right.
For one. That's how we got here. So he needs to know a little bit about the history. You can't compare that to African Americans coming in this country because we were brought here and we didn't come over here on our own. Another thing is it's sort of political. You're right. It has to do with the politics is the reason why probably that it was brought here in Dallas. I think when I looked at the video, when they showed them saying that they wanted them here, I did see Judge Clay Jenkins. As a matter of fact, I saw Commissioner John Wiley Price.
Right.
And I saw a couple of more people that are involved in our city here when it comes to politics. And that's what it's about. But at the end of the day, you're right, charity starts at home, and then it's shared abroad. Now, the things that we go through here in Dallas, the reason why they brought them here in Dallas, first of all, is because the people that we elect that look like us, we don't hold them accountable for anything. So they can do pretty much they want to do. I know Chicago's called in and talking about, our man downtown and all these things. Well, all of those people who look like us that have been in office, what have they done for us since they've been in those positions? Now, we have everybody but us. And the reason why they can do it, Mary, is because we keep our mouth closed. And me and your father have said for years, silence helps the oppressed and not helps the oppressed and not the oppressor. The oppressor and not the oppressed. And because we keep our mouths closed, that's why we're in the situation we're in now. Casey and them can strategize about what we need to do, continue to vote. The thing to do is pass our history down, educate our people, and let them know the importance of voting. Every other year we got to have forums on telling people why it's important to vote, when it never lost their mind for the many of African American people who died for us to have the right to vote.
Right.
And so a lot of this is political, like you said, and I agree with you, but it's unfortunate that we don't hold people accountable for anything.
That's right.
That being said, have a wonderful weekend.
All right, thank you, Reverend Wright. Thank you for your call and comment this morning. Again, that number to call is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. This is Church Information and Open Forum. We're up against a short break. If you're on the line, hold the call. I'll be right back. Again, 972-647-1893. All right, good morning. We're back. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. Got a lot of hot topics to talk about. Got people on the line waiting, so I don't want to keep them on hold too long. Again, we're talking about immigration laws this morning. We're talking about the immigration laws. Those illegal immigrants that are being shipped to the North Texas area. How do you feel about it? What do you think should be done about it? Again, there's about 2,000 that's coming to the North Texas area from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. That, of course, Senator Royce West went down and saw in the McAllen area and agreed that they should come here. Not only him, but it was, I believe, Clay Jenkins. And again, I saw a report where John Wiley Price was agreed to that as well. Again, now just to be clear, 2,000 about coming to the North Texas area, but there are about 80 to 90,000 that are out there. There's some that went to California area, Marietta, California, who were shipped to other areas in California, but Marietta welcomed these illegal immigrants with a protest, saying they couldn't come. They blocked the streets, said they couldn't come here. So they shipped those people out to the other, dispersed them in other areas of California. But those in the McAllen area from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, they're being shipped to the North Texas area. Why do you think Dallas was chosen for the site to be for these illegal immigrants? Why do you think? Give us a call at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. And let's go ahead and go back to our phone lines this morning. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Blue. Good morning, Blue. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. Go ahead with your call and comment this morning.
Well, one of the reasons why a lot of the immigrants are not going to stay on the borderline, you check this out. Most of your borderlines right now is under all the oil companies that's drilling down there. There's no room for nobody, even get a hotel, motel, nothing down there. So they're kind of controlling that borderline because they're drilling oil on most of all your borders into Mexico. So they don't have no choice. Plus, Dallas area got the most pacifist blacks there is in the United States. We don't protest about nothing. We don't want to support each other about nothing, but we can support everybody else about nothing. Isn't that amazing? We got some of the mega churches in this Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we can't do anything about Paul Quinn. It's amazing how much we got here as resources, but we can help everybody else, but we can't help ourselves. And that's amazing. Another short thing, people better realize I'm a CDL driver. They're changing the state of Texas to where if you're going to keep your CDL driver, which my license costs me about $60-something every time I renew, now they've changed it where you got to go get a DOT physical just to have a Class A license. That means you got to be working. You got to go get a physical for the state of Texas to renew your CDL license when you go to get them. That's kind of weird.
Not Class C, but Class A.
Class A, right. CDL. Just to have them. And then you go get a job, and if you ain't working, you just got to pay for it. Say, I want to keep them in case I do go find me a job. No, you got to get a CDL DOT physical just to keep them. One other small thing. I live in Duncanville, Texas, and there's a black lady out here that is code enforcement. I keep my yard up. I have my pickup sitting in the back of my yard, loading up the stuff back there. She came through, I don't know when she came through, on the 19th of June when she came through. She rolled me up, said I was storing stuff. I went, took it upon myself to go in several alleys. This stuff has been here, because I ride the alleyway, but I pick up scrap metal sometimes. There are 4 years I've been out of here. There's stuff been sitting there for 4 years. And I know my neighbor, she said, she never got anything. Her yard looks like junk. She's got junk there because she doesn't have a private fence behind her house. She got a bunch of stuff stored out there. We can go by and physically see it, along with other people. She said, no, I never got a letter, Mr. Blue, but I had to go to that office and go off with her down there. She was still trying to prove a point. You were still, I said, lady, did you see my truck back right there, loading stuff up? Well, I don't know what she was doing, but she tried to show off down the City Hall, but I got another side of me she had to see. Because, like I told her, lady, I ride the streets all day long. If you're telling me about something that I'm putting on my truck, I can show you several places that been stored on the, I mean, really junk, that's stored in the driveways in the front of the house. Grass never been mowed in several years, tall in the house. And I took the picture down and showed it to her and her boss. They looked like she was a fool because she's sitting there trying to, and most of the people got rolled up are black. And she's black. Because I asked several people, I said, did y'all get one of these letters? I said, no.
Okay.
And I just wondered, why is that? And one more thing. When Senator Ross West and John Wiley Price want to do something, why is it down on the lower, well, I could say east side of Western Road? Why is it those people, all those nice apartments down there close to Paul Quinn, why is it they can't get a regular grocery store? They made a big thing out of it when they went down in that corner down and trying to say, oh, we opened up a grocery store. I thought it was going to be something, a high-low grocery already in a poor neighborhood. Why couldn't there have been a regular grocery store where people that got all them houses and kids can have a decent place to go buy groceries? I just don't understand John Wiley Price and all those so downtown and all these mega churches here. Why couldn't it be a regular grocery store for them like home instead of a high-low grocery and another service station with high prices of gasoline that's already high there anyway? I don't understand that either, sir. It's amazing. We fight for our country, but we come back here, the country don't care about us.
Yeah. Well, Blue, we thank you for your call and comment.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Again, this morning we're talking about a lot of different things. It's open forum this morning, so it's whatever you want to talk about. But of course, the hot topic is the immigration. Those 2,000 kids that are being shipped to the North Texas area from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, who were originally housed in McAllen illegally. Again, they're coming to places like Hulsey Middle School, Lamar Alternative Education in Grand Prairie, Parkland Hospital Boulevard right here on Butler Street. Why was Dallas chosen as the site? And why did Senator Ross West, Judge Clay Jenkins, John Wiley Price agree to this? Is this a political move? Is it a political move? How is this going to affect DISD? You know, these are kids, majority are kids, accompanied by a few adults, but these are kids. And if you're sending them to Hulsey Middle School, that's in DISD, of course, Parkland Hospital area, which is, of course, will be housed by DISD. How would this affect DISD? How would this affect home rule? Give us a call at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. And let's go back to our phone lines and say good morning to line 3 on BB. Good morning, BB. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Just fine.
Listen, first of all, that those refugees, that's a money thing. Mm-hmm. The federal government is going to pay whichever cities take them in. They're going to get a lot of money. But what I really call for is that you hadn't said anything about this, but Channel 5, Channel 5 do promote racism.
You said
and every time a black sneeze wrong, they're after them. Now they were after Thomason, the health department director. They were after Commissioner Price forever, you know, and yet when Anglo people do something, it never come up like that. Now, they had the National Baptist Convention, the Black Southern Baptists. They did not promote anything about that. But when those other entities came in there, they was all over the news. Now, let me share something with you. Watch how they force our people who are on the news to always be the ones that try to talk negative about us. Now, our integrity should mean more than to get up and try to cut one of us up, but never tell the truth on other folk. Now, I share something with you. The pastors back in the Gap, Martin Luther King was a pastor, but he was out there fighting for people who were being mistreated, was done wrong. But you got very few. Your father is one of them that will stand up and say wrong is wrong. Reverend Wright, I hear him. Yeah. He stands up against what is injustice. But you got mega churches that will not come out the woodwork and say anything on behalf of African Americans, but they get up and cut them up. Now, Mr. Josh Brent made a mistake. But every chance they get, they still try to bring it up in the news. That's Channel 5, and try to cut him up. Mr. Deion Sanders, when he and his spouse was going through, they tried to make a mockery out of that. But Mr. Aikman and his spouse were going through the same thing. But they asked for privacy, and they got that. Right. And so what we need entities like KNON, but we need a television station so that we can get out there and put the truth out so that people can see that we are not all bad. See, one or two of us make a mistake, they hold the whole group
accountable
for it. But they can, all of them can mess up, and they'll sugarcoat it under the table. Now, they were asking for the death penalty for this little brother that run over those people down in Austin and killed some of them. Yeah, he made a mistake. But that Anglo kid run over them Hispanics, he was drunk and admitted it, but he got probation. You see the difference in disparity? See, the law is the same, but in this situation of justice is not right.
Right.
And people have stopped. I heard somebody say earlier today, protesting. They'll stop getting out there and marching and standing up for their right. I heard this guy talk about the CDL. They certainly did that because I have CDL license, and they told me that if I did not send in the medical record, then they would downgrade my CDL. I paid money to go to school to get those licenses, and nobody's going to stand up and help us keep them. This is a travesty. Yeah. And I certainly appreciate this show, especially your father, because I've been listening at him for many, many years, and he has not backed down yet. Right. And so I wish that black people would understand we have to start into the people who are standing up for us.
That's right.
Instead of running behind them folk who are kicking us down in every chance they get.
All right. Now,
they better watch that superintendent they got down there, because it came in there to destroy the black race of people. People need to get that video called Endgame and look at it. It'll tell you we don't have to get them all. We just got to get the one in leadership, and we can control the rest of them. And so that's what we have to do, sir. I appreciate your time. I applaud your efforts, and hope this show remain on air forever.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Thank you for calling comment again. Channel 5 not the only one that it has exploited us as a people. Channel 8 does it as well. Just look at the whole situation, like you spoke about with the superintendent and the firing of the Johnson family, Goree Johnson, and his two sons. Just you follow that trail. Channel 8 is the one that exploited that. Channel 4, of course, is Fox News, which we all know is always going to try to find something that is wrong with us. And of course, Channel 11 can't be exempt. So we don't have a media outlet that shows anything that's positive. Again, Channel 13 KORA does show some certain things every now and then, but again, we don't have our own network. And again, it'd be almost incredible to get. Oprah tried to get one called OWN, but it's not about all us. So again, we need to do something as a group of people, and I'd like to discuss exactly what one of the callers called in about, which was the lukewarmness, the passive Dallas natives who are here only to complain, but no action is given. No action is given. And that is part of the reason why Dallas was chosen. Because they don't want nothing to be done. Want nothing to be done about it. Again, you have people in DISD coming in from out of town who control it, do what they want. Nothing was said. Home rules passed. Protest was given, but it should have been thousands out there in droves at protests. They were able to get over 25,000 signatures to say, hey, let's change DISD to a home rule school. And most people probably just don't understand what this actually means and how that takes away your vote. And when you take away your vote, you take away your voice. You have no decision. But you're still they're gonna use your money, but your voice has no decision over your money. So these are the things that we need to discuss. But I don't want to hold in. By me, I want to listen to you. So let's go back to our phone lines and actually, let's take a break before we come back. If you're on the line, just hold the line. We'll come right back to you. Hold the line 1 second. This is Church Information Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. The number is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right, good morning. This is Marion Barnett Jr. filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. this morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum. We're coming down to our last 2 segments, so go ahead and start calling in, 972-647-1893. Again, the hot topic this morning, of course, is the immigration. Those 2,000 kids that are sitting over in McAllen, that are headed to the North Texas area. They have identified 3 potential sites for these illegal immigrants. They're coming from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala. And the sites are Hussey Middle School off Polk Street, No Cliff, Lamar Alternative in Grand Prairie, and Parkland Hospital right here in Dallas on Butler Street. 2 out of the 3 sites, of course, DISD will have to do something about. How will this affect us as a community? Since we already have our own personal issues, we already have situation that we're not taking care of right now here in Dallas as we speak. How would this affect us? Are you for it? Are you against it? Either way, give us a call, 972-647-1893, as well as, of course, the popular home rule. What do you think about it? Where is DSD headed? What can we do as a people to stop it, get behind it for it? Let's show some action. We always talk about the issues, but let's show some solutions to the problem. This Monday at 6, of course, in Farrer Park at the African American Museum, they'll be discussing certain things with the election in November. So if you can make it this Monday at 6 p.m., try to make it out. All right. But let's go back to our phone lines this morning. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Curtis. Good morning, Curtis. How are you?
Good morning, Brother Barnett. How are you this morning?
I can't complain.
Bro, listen, let me tell you, first of all, you're doing a wonderful job. And you know, I started to hang up because the last 5 callers were right on point, and all of them made their own points that were all valid. But I want to just, you need to stir up the pot just a little bit. You know, I have 6 children myself, and if I decided tomorrow I didn't want to continue to raise those 6 children, I'm just wondering if I could go dump them on the porches of some of these pastors and some of these folks that are running around saying that we need to open up the doors and just let these kids come in. Now, I'm not trying to be insensitive to the kids, but I know that we have laws in place, and some of our callers have already indicated that, you know, we need to sweep around our own front porch before we start trying to sweep around other people. And what I'm saying is this: we've got problems in our own city with these kids that I call immigrants. I don't know where they come from. They can't talk. They can't walk. They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to communicate. And we're not doing anything to educate them. And, you know, they're not graduating. They have all kind of social ills. And we're not doing anything to support them, but yet we're interested in bringing in folks illegally from somewhere else. It is a political move. Yes, it is. I mean, a lot of folks don't want to see it, but it is, because we know that there are a lot of illegal immigrants that are already here that are now U.S. citizens that can vote, and a lot of our black folks do not vote. So it's a strategy. You know, the Hispanics are now being able to vote. So, of course, they're going to be all for their countrymen coming over there. So there's going to be more votes on for these people that are running for office or whatever. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I want to say, you follow your dollars, you're going to follow. You'll find a whole bunch of these political gangsters, as I call them, whether it be preachers, political leaders that are going to be at the end of that pot of gold. So that's how that goes. But on yesterday, a lot of us celebrated the 4th of July. I like to refer to it the 4th of July because it's a lie. It has nothing to do with black folks. I rode around on my motorcycle yesterday in several cities, and I've seen tons of black folks with the red, white, and blue on. And I just looked and I shook my head. You know, really, do you really know what you're celebrating on today? Were you free? Did you really get your freedom on the 4th of July? Did you get your independence on the 4th of July, or was you still a slave? Right. We as in this community have to wake up as a people. We're missing out on our heritage, our history. Nobody's really telling us about who we are, and we're just running around letting a group of gangsters lead us to nowhere. And I would say, no disrespect to my friend Casey Thomas, I will not be at the African American Museum because I'm tired of standing around, listening to a bunch of people complain. When you get ready to organize and start trying to make something happen, then call me. But until then, I will not go anywhere and sit around and hear a bunch of black folks complain but do nothing about it. So with that, I'm going to say you continue on with your work, my brother. When it's time for the revolution to actually step up to start moving, call me. I'll be there.
Thank you for your calling comment, Curtis.
Thank you.
Again, this morning, the hot topic, of course, is the immigration. Those 2,000 kids sitting in McAllen that are on their way to the North Texas area. They have identified 3 potential sites in North Texas for these kids to be housed. Hussey Middle School in Oak Cliff, Livermore Alternative Education in Grand Prairie, Parkland Hospital Boulevard right here in Dallas on Butler Street. These are the 3 potential sites that have been identified to house 2,000 or more kids. They will be accompanied by some adults. These are infants, toddlers, teenagers, accompanied by with a few parents. Again, how do you feel about it? Is Dallas being too insensitive by saying these are kids, or should we take a page out of the Marietta, California? They shipped some of these same kids to the California area, and they were greeted with protesters who blocked the streets, wouldn't allow them in. So they ended up shipping them to the other areas in California. But Dallas was chosen as a destination, of course, by Senator Royce West, Clay Jenkins, and I believe John Wiley Price also approved. We do believe that it is political, but what do you think? What do you think? Give us a call and comment, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. A lot of people think it's political. You follow the money. Like Curtis said, you find the political gangsters. But let's see what you think. Let's go to our phone line. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Miss Hudson. Miss Hudson, how are you this morning? I lost Miss Hudson. Yeah. All right, Miss Hudson, if you got a minute, give us a call back. And let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Reverend Crenshaw. Good morning, Reverend Crenshaw.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett Jr.
Good morning. How are you?
Barnett? Oh, top of the morning. I'm fine. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain.
Well, I don't complain.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hear it no way. You wouldn't want to hear it no way.
Oh, no. I'm going to tell you, this is you had nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
All this politicking. It's a political. How you go? Political.
Politics.
It's not. There is no such thing as politics. It's politics.
Mm-hmm.
All for a bag of tricks. What's always been.
Mm-hmm.
You heard in the Bible. You had the Assyrian Empire, of which Nineveh was the capital. You had the Babylonian, then you had the Persian, and the Median Empire. Those are the same people in that area. They're over there in Iraq today. Iraq, Afghanistan, all in there. Okay. Iran, that's Persia. All those are in the Babylonian Empire. Let me not forget that. Iraq was in there. Those people had been vying for rule for centuries and killing one another.
Mm-hmm.
During Nebuchadnezzar's time. That's what it was all about. King Darius, Cyrus, all that.
Okay.
So that, it's all political.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over here, as far as those kids are concerned, this is the most diabolical trick of the devil of political that has been done in a long time. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Those poor little kids, unknowingly, coming up here with their parents spending as much as $7,000, eating till their coyotes riding around in vehicles. On the train with those banditos coming down out of the mountains. And those on the train, you got predators, molesters, and everything else going on.
Okay.
And Honduras is the most violent, most dangerous nation in the world. People down there don't even come outside. It's so dangerous. So that's why they're trying to get the kids out of there.
Okay.
But there are any number of reasons why they're trying to make it here. I mean, there are myriad, there are multiplicity, a cornucopia. I couldn't even begin to count.
So I guess the question is, are you for it or against it?
I'm against it. I mean, I am against it.
Okay.
But I can tell you why. But it's not going to do any good for them to come here. Because, some of your callers have been stated, we have our own problems. Whole lot of them. And one of us doing after slavery, you heard about us going to Canada, right?
Okay.
And the Underground Railroad.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard about us going to Mexico? What happened when they went to Mexico? They starved the deal, literally.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
Okay. Well, Reverend Crenshaw, we thank you for your call and comment.
God bless you.
Uh-huh. All right, good. This morning we're talking about the immigration laws. We're talking about homeschool rule. Give us a call at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893 with your call and comment. There's a lot of people calling with a lot of great calls, a lot of comments, different views, different outlooks, but the fact remains the same. Can Dallas afford to take on 2,000? And these are not just kids. Don't get it twisted. I know we're saying 2,000 kids, but they're accompanied by adults with infants and toddlers. So, but they are accompanied by adults. Can we take on 2,000 extra illegal immigrants in this area? I think just driving around, we have a lot here already. But what do you think? Let's go to our phone line. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Annette. Good morning, Annette. How are you?
Good morning. I have no problem with them coming here.
Okay.
But my problem is we already have problems with the schools.
Mm-hmm.
We have children in school every day that don't have food. They only eat one meal a day, and that is at school.
Uh-huh.
So why would we send some more children here and we can't feed our own? Then my other problem is, why are they sending them to Hudson? Why didn't they send them far North Dallas? Why didn't they send them far North Dallas? Why are they sending them in our area?
Right. Well, I think we all know the real answer to that.
We need to do just like they did in California when they come this way with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all send them back to North Dallas. Send them back to North Dallas, what people can help take care of, because our children are not taken care of here in our school, Boston, South Oak Cliff, P.L. Marcellus. We have children every day that's hungry. They only eat one time a day, and that is at school. They don't even have toothbrush, toothpaste, you know.
Right.
Okay, the people wouldn't mind. Why don't you donate some of this stuff to the children that don't have, our black children?
Right. Yeah. Well.
So that's my problem. Why are they sending them here? You know, then we have enough diseases now that's here, and that the children have a problem getting treated.
Right. Now, I know Senator Ross West went out there to see these kids in Black Island. Were they medically checked out is the question. Were they cleared medically? Okay. Is the question. So if you got the answer to that, feel free to call in. But again, like some of the other callers stated, this is a political move, or Reverend Crenshaw say political move. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's a lot to do with money, a lot to do with Dallas being a passive city. African Americans here are very passive, very lukewarm, and when it's time to do something, just won't get up and get out and do it. We're too spread out. The communication line is almost cut off. This is about as good as it gets right now. It's KNON between 7 and 9 Saturday mornings when it comes to telling the truth and your voice being heard. So, Annette, we thank you for your call and comment this morning. Again, we're talking about immigration this morning. We're talking about home rule. We're talking about John Maller Price. So give us a call, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Whatever you want to talk about this morning, feel free to call in. It is an open forum. So the show is about you this morning. We're almost up against short break, so hurry up and give us a call. But let's go back to our phone lines. Let's go to line 4, and let's say good morning to Dow. Is it Dow? Dow, listen to your phone, not your radio. Cut your radio down. Dot?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole thing is a political move to make our president look bad.
Mm-hmm. How so?
For one reason, they want to fix it where when he leaves office, they'll have a mark on us, say, well, you had a black president. He was the worst one we ever had. And 2, John Wiley Price, if he was guilty, they would have got him 3 years ago. Now they want to keep bargain with
we can stop that the next few months when the vote come up, and we vote that down. And I believe this whole thing is a political move, and it's to make the president look bad. A lot of things that he signed executive order with his pen, as he said if they don't move, he would sign it with his pen. A lot of things he signed in the order, and the wages, he signed that, and several other things for the women. All of this stuff is to make our U.S. president look bad. So when he leaves office, they can say, well, hey, y'all voted him in, and look, he was the worst we ever had. It's those white congressmen up in Washington. He said just the other day, he says, no, I'm not going to apologize for trying to do something when the other people are sitting across the aisle and they're doing nothing. It makes sense. So I believe this whole thing it's about President Obama. They're trying to make him look bad, so when he leaves office, they'll say, well, you black people put him in, and he was the worst one we ever had. That's a lie. And they talk about him worse than any other president. Give him less, they give him less, what am I trying to say? They give him less, they don't respect the office of the president.
Right.
So I believe all of this is political.
Right. Yeah, I do.
All of it is political, and they're doing this so when he leaves office in 2016, they'll have a mark on us say, well, you black people put him in. Now, he was the worst we ever had. And they're fighting him on everything. They want to allocate money when he asks for it. What is the man supposed to do? Now they're trying to put this immigration on him. It's not his fault. They're trapping over here. But all of it's political.
Yeah, but when are we going to stop and take a look at it? We have local leaders here in the Dallas area who approve for this move. So not just President Obama. Yeah, that's a propaganda move. That's a media move. But again, locally, this is something that we put these people in positions that look like us. And they're the ones that's actually that we're not holding accountable.
We got some on the city council that won't do anything.
Right. And we're the ones putting them in position.
Yeah.
So.
And the mayor, he's putting his 2 cents in when we didn't vote him to be our school advocate. He's our mayor, and that's not his job.
Right.
But he's got something to do with it.
Well, Doc, we thank you for your call and comment this morning.
Okay.
All right. All right, we're up against a short break again. We're going to get into our last 20 minutes. So give us a call, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Ron, Allison, and James will come to you next after the break. This is Church Information in Open Forum. All right, good morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. Again, we're going down to our last 20 minutes, so go ahead and call in, 972-647-1893. This is an open show. This is an open forum this morning, but in particular, the hot topic, of course, has been about the immigration. You have over 2,000 kids who are on their way to the North Texas area. Dallas in particular, and 3 potential sites have been identified: Hussey Middle School, Lamar Alternative Education in Grand Prairie, Parkland Hospital Boulevard right here in Dallas off Butler Street, where they'll be hosting these people, because they're not just kids, it's their parents as well, toddlers, infants, all of the above. And it's over 2,000. I've been saying 2,000, but it's well over 2,000. So what do you think? Why do you think Dallas was chosen? I understand that it's a total political move, but what other reasons? Why would Senator Russ West, Just Clay Jenkins, John Wiley Price agree to this? Why would the people in power that we put in this position, that I don't believe we are for this particular rule, but they would choose to go with it anyway? Is it because they knew Dallas wouldn't stand up, or we too lukewarm, or other African Americans in Dallas too passive? What's the reason? Give us a call, 972-647-1893, as well as homeschool rule. What's your stands on that, and anything that in particular that you want to talk about? All right, well, let's go to our phone lines and say, let's go to line 1 and say, good morning to Ron. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
Morning, sir. A different topic, but extremely important topic.
Okay.
Let me preface my comments by saying it makes no common sense not to be able to mention God's name in school. And I do not believe that God appreciates that. It makes no common sense not to be able to post the 10 Commandments in school, which are good rules to live by no matter what you believe. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, etc., etc., etc. It makes no common sense not to be able to pray in school because some single person or few stymie the wishes, desires of others. Or one could pray privately or quietly. If the Supreme Court interpreted the Constitution correctly, if they did, then the Constitution should be changed. The Constitution was written by a group of slave owners and other bigots and people engaged in wrongdoing. Okay? And since the nutty decision was rendered by the Supreme Court, this country is embroiled in terrorism, foreign and domestic. The Bible says wars and rumors and wars, and we have them. Terrorism, domestic, street gangs, race-based gangs, KKK. We have mass shootings, atrocities all across this country. Every time you look around, at the rate of once every month or so. Wars, 2 wars at the same time. I've never heard of a country being engaged in 2 wars at the same time. And neither war made any sense to engage this country in a war going to look for one man. We lost thousands of people looking for Saddam Hussein in Iraq and Bin Laden in Afghanistan. 2 wars at the same time. And then I want to blame the economy for going to pot. The economy is going to pot. We're borrowing money from China. We're borrowing money to China to give it to Iraq, to give it to Afghanistan, who harbored Bin Laden, and we're still giving them money. But yet we can't get any assistance for homeless people. Downtown LA has approximately 40,000 homeless people, and this country is engaged in moral decay, I call it. Its morals in this country have gone to pot. Corporations have no morals, it's just, bottom line, if the Supreme Court interpreted the Constitution correctly, then the Constitution should be changed. And it would be greatly appreciated if our churches would become instrumental in requesting our federal government to do something to reinstate the ability to mention God's name in school, to post the 10 Commandments, and to pray in school.
That's right. Ron, we thank you for your call and comment.
Thank you very much.
Again, this morning we have a hot topic on the panel: immigration. Those 2,000 plus that are coming to the Dallas area from McAllen. Now, these kids are from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras area, illegal immigrants who are headed to the Dallas area per Clay Jenkins, John Wiley Price, Senator Royce West, the leaders that we put in positions who are bringing them to the Dallas area, mainly because the Dallas African Americans are lukewarm, passive, don't want to do anything, love to complain, but when it comes to handling things like a home rule protest. You can't get at least 1,000 to show up. So these are the things that we're talking about this morning. All right, these are the things we're talking about this morning. It's important that you give us a call, 972-647-1893. And let's go back to our phone lines. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Allison. Good morning, Allison. How are you?
Good morning. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Yourself.
Good.
My concern is with the immigration of the children. If we're already having problems in our school district where we have to teach ESL and we have to already accommodate Hispanics, what are we going to do when the media is gone and we're stuck with all these children? Not only that, if we're already having budget cuts, problems financially, how can we even afford to bring them in? And then once the media is gone, who is going to care for those people?
Right.
Nobody is caring for our children and the homeless and the disabled people and elderly right here in Dallas. We're always saying we're broke. We're always laying off. Now they just laid off teachers. So who's going to teach these kids?
Right. Well,
and not only that, who's going to teach them to speak our language? Because we're going to end up having a language barrier.
This is true.
So then what do we do?
Right. So what are we going to do?
I want to know, how can we do a protest? This is one thing that I'm serious about. If they said no immigration, that you have to be a legal citizen, then get them and send them back. Just like their parents brought them over here knowing that the United States is going to keep them because we're the melting pot. Get them and send them back. If they don't know where they came from, pick your location and take them back and see what their government do.
Okay. Well, Allison, we thank you for your call and comment this morning.
Thank you.
Again, we're talking about immigration. We're talking about home rule. We're talking about a lot of different things this morning. What do you think about what's going on in the Dallas area? California and Marietta, they protest. They welcomed those kids with a protest, and they blocked the street so they wouldn't let them in. Can Dallas do something like that? Or are we too divided, too indecisive, too passive, too lukewarm to accomplish anything like that? Or are we too insensitive? Are we too hard? Should we actually consider letting these kids come to the Dallas area? What do you think? All right. Let's go to line 3. James from Palestine. Good morning, James. How are you?
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett Jr. In his likeness and his image, you're doing it a great warrior, all right?
Thank you so much, sir.
Some of the things we covered this morning take a broad brush, but I would like to say good morning to the Williams and the Wynn family reunion that's going on around me. And an update on our chief of police. They did terminate our black chief of police, and we're working on that. I keep you and your dad informed as we go along. But talking about immigration, some of the concerns I have is the reason Dallas may have been chosen is because it's like an international metroplex, at least for Texas, a little better than Houston. And maybe so because remember the Alamo.
Right.
Remember Mexico and Texas. Remember the relationship that was going on then. And some of the questions I would like to pose to everyone that's listening and participated this morning, whose land is it anyway? Who assigns this land? And, you know, who really in charge of it? And when they put the Indians out on the reservation, what they put out there with them was alcohol and gambling joints. What did they put out here for us as African Americans? Drugs and alcohol in our community. So whose land is it anyway? And did Columbus discover America or America discover Columbus? All of these things need to be looked at when we're jumping on what race belongs where and all of that when we make our decisions about what's going on all around us. That's what we really need to bring to the table and look at. Let's start there and work our way back up. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for your call and comment, James. Again, we're talking about a lot of different things. It's whatever you want to talk about, but of course the hot topic is immigration this morning. So let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Lily. Good morning, Lily. How are you?
Yes, I'm okay. There's so much going on. Sometimes it blows your mind. But I don't think that's a very good move, moving those immigrants into those areas that have been designated because those areas are already economically depressed.
Right.
And oppressed. And that just doesn't make very much sense to me because all it's going to do is going to invite more crime. And then all it's going to do is cause more of this gang activity and stuff going on, and I just think that's not a good move. Another thing, why would you move them to an already economically depressed area? Why not move it to an area that can afford to be able to accommodate them? You know, and then why move them all to Dallas? You know, why not move them, kind of scatter them out all over the United States? Mm-hmm. You know, that would be the idea that I wouldn't follow. And then who gave them, I mean, I don't recall, and maybe I just wasn't, making myself available to the information, but before this decision was made, was the opportunity given to people of that area to come and speak their mind about whether or not they wanted this to occur in their community?
Well, when you voted, the person that Senator Ross West, these are the people that makes these decisions in your area. So that's why it's so important.
So they make those decisions without consulting the constituents in those areas. They just make decisions like that.
Well,
that's a really a decision that the community itself should have been brought in on. I would have thought.
Right. Okay. Well, Lily, we up against short time, so we thank you for your call and comment.
Okay.
Again, this morning we discussed the immigration rule, we discussed home rule, a lot of different issues, a lot of different topics. But for those of you who have your pens out, we're going to our job line. If you need a job, this is a great time to write it down, the information. It's a great person who's coming on, Greg, who's going to give you a lot of good information and give you his thought of the day. All right, so let's go to our job line and say good morning to Greg. Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good morning. Talk about fireworks on the 5th of July.
Right.
Y'all got it cranked up. Good topics this morning, a viable topic, need to be talked about. Home rule. Me, personally, I'm against it. Immigration bill, people need to pay close attention to what's being said, especially from the president.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've heard. He said he's going to bring these kids in, they're going to process, and they're going to send them back. That's what I heard. Yeah. If something else is different, now they're going to try to figure out where they come from, and they're going to send them back.
Well, yeah, that was for the states that accepted the money. Texas wasn't one of those states. Rick Perry declined the Barack Obama's president's help. So this is more of a Rick Perry Dallas move.
So on that end, then we need to be talking about it up in our Texas legislature.
Right. So
yeah, on that end. But this morning on our SAT job line, that Solutions Actions Today job line, brought to you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning we have Swiftcraft is looking for a customer service representative. That's you to apply online at www.quiltcraft.com. That's www.quiltcraft.com. Rochester Gauges is looking for a customer service representative. That's you to apply online at www.rochestergauges.com. That's www.rochestergauges.com. Dealer Tires looking for warehouse personnel, starting out $12.85 an hour, Monday through Friday. Contact for more information or inquiry. The number for inquiry is 800-933-2357, extension 6502. Once again, that is, the contact information is 800-933-2357, extension 6502. Or you can email your resumes to CWARD, that's CWARD, at dealertire.com. Once again, that email address to email your resume and cover letter is CWARD, CWARD, at dealertire, that's DEALERTIRE.com. Larson Jewell is a warehouse representative and delivery driver. The number for inquiry is 866-748-8722. Once again, that's Larson Jewell is the warehouse and delivery driver. Asking you the number for inquiry is 866-748-8722.
Jet Aviation is looking for customer service representatives asking you to fax your resume and cover letter to 214-351-4216. Once again, Jet Aviation is looking for customer service representatives asking you to fax your resume and cover letter to 214-351-4216. Ready Ice is looking for customer service representatives asking you to apply online at www.readyice.com. Once again, the web address is www.readyice.com. If you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual who would like to work in a daycare setting, number inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual who would like to work in a daycare setting, number inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and needs assistance with the recovery effort, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job search, the number of inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and needs assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and needs assistance with job search, the number of inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open form and follow through with. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open form and follow through with. One thing I will say about the issues on the table today of discussion, that is, they point out the importance of voting. To register to vote and vote. Even though these are midterm elections, these are very serious elections. They have dire consequences. They will affect you directly. Don't think that this is not a presidential election. It really doesn't matter. Actually, these touch you more direct than the office of the president. And with that, we bring our SAT outline to a close.
All right. As always, Greg, wonderful job. Again, this is Church Information Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host, filling in. Marion Barnett Sr. will be here next Saturday, so we'll see you again at 7 to 9. Again, prayers going up to the Bonner family. This burying a great man. This is Church Information Open Forum. Have a great day.
Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.